Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second Metal Monday. Today, we're going to cover a classic 1991 album. This is Dark Angel's Leave Scars. I think it's from 1991. This album immediately followed Darkness Descends. Well, not immediately. I think there's about a 3 or 4 year gap between them. Darkness Descends is kind of infamous today that a lot of people believe the title track on that's opening riff is pretty closely replicated in the machine gunning riff at the end of Metallica's One, which was released after it. So some people kind of suppose that Metallica, probably being on tour with these guys, may have picked up on the opening riff from that album and integrated it into One, or at least a similar variation of it. And there really hasn't been much denial on that I'm aware of. It's possibly a fluke, but it could be something that actually happened. Ron Reinhardt, first time around doing vocals on this one. The album is a step further into technicality and sort of math metal progressions with a lot of time signature changes and a lot of key signature changes throughout it. Mike Gonzalez on guitar and Gene Hoglan on percussion. Gene Hoglan was, at this point, really starting to become quite famous, of course, as a much sought-after drummer today. He's played with the likes of Devin Townsend and also in Death Clock, if you're familiar with the cartoon. The album is super fast, for the most part, loaded with just chugging, volatile, mean-spirited sounding guitar licks. The vocals are pretty much they're kind of predecessors to the death metal thing, but they seem to be more shouted than growled kind of thing. So it's what they would sometimes refer to, I guess, as the dry lung vocal. Reinhardt went more for a melodic approach on the album that followed it. This release was a limited edition reissue, I think limited to just 200 copies, and comes with a complete lyric sheet on the inner sleeve and photos of the band. Also, of course, we have our strip, so that's very nice. It is a picture disc, not replicating the album art in any way. It's designed to look like a camo picture disc, and there are several different albums by different artists that Combat released around this time. The sound quality on it, well, it's a picture disc. It's pretty good, but it's such a noisy kind of record anyway that you're probably not going to notice that it drowns out any kind of static that would be on here, just from the sheer ferocity of the sound that's coming out of this thing. There are really no acoustic passages on this album, none. It's just completely just chugging forward all the time. So it's an exciting record, and it's very excessive for its time. You could say that it has elements of grindcore about it, but it seems like it's a bit more technical than most grindcore bands. Anyway, I do recommend it, and I think it's a fun record. It definitely harkens back to an era of the thrash scene that is kind of circling around again, but this is definitely one of the classic albums of that era, right as glam metal was kind of going out and thrash metal was getting more recognition again. So that's it for this time on Weird Spins for Metal Mondays, and we'll see you next week.